So, what is your dream job? Just like what I was talking about. Well, as a veterinarian, as a person, where do you want to be financially? First of all, my name is Alberto Rullan, and I am from this small island of Puerto Rico, which is in the Caribbean Ocean. Especially from a very small town. I want you to know a little bit about who's talking to you. We call my city the city of the sleeping giant because there's a huge mountain that represents a huge, it looks like a giant. It's actually quite formidable. I grew up as a farmer. Humble beginnings. We cook our own food. We have crops of oranges, banana, plantains, coffee. We obviously had horses, and we enjoy a lot of jeeps and trucks in the mountain. And to be a veterinarian, it's taken me 35 years to be where I am right now. And to be honest, it's been a, a, a lot of struggles and a lot of success and a lot of struggles. And looking back, it's crazy to see to see myself where I am today because I had no clue of what I was doing. And in this picture, I throughout the talk, I wanted to give you what I have learned in these 35 plus years. Okay, and in this picture, I want to show you, and on the right hand side, this is me when I was 6 years old. At this time, I had 6 years of riding experience. I remember one day when I was 8 years old, I coming home from school, and my grandma was waiting for me with tears in her eyes. Oh, Alberto, I have some terrible news. She said, I said, what happened? She said, there's been an accident. Your dad was riding your horse and they were hit by a truck. He's at the hospital now. I was in shock. I said, what happened to my horse? She looked away and she said, he has a broken leg and we're waiting for someone to come and help. The next day, I learned that my horse suffered for hours and hours before he went to heaven because there was not one veterinarian in our town to help any animal. So that day, I made a decision. I have to become a veterinarian. And I have to become a veterinarian that helps horses' legs. It was something I remained very passionate about for years. But it wasn't until I was about 16 years old that I learned about what it is to sacrifice something. Because I learned that I had to go to the United States to become a veterinarian because there was no veterinary schools in Puerto Rico. Which sounds simple enough, except I didn't have any money. I didn't know anybody in the United States. And I didn't even speak the language. I mean, can you tell? Right? But I had one thing. I have passion. I have blind passion. Stupid, blind, uncompromising passion. And that's when I learned that sometimes you have to give up to go up. And you have to make sacrifices. Well, on the one hand, what did I need to sacrifice, right? It was for me a much easier decision back then than it would have been for me now. Now, on the other hand, I had to sacrifice everything. My family, my land, my culture. Everything will have to give way for me to come to the United States and become a veterinarian. But that's one of the miraculous things about passion, that it doesn't matter how hard it is. If you have enough passion, you truly find a way. And passion is like blinkers on a horse, right? You do not look at obstacles, you just look forward. Zig Ziglar said, a goal that is casually set is freely abandoned at first obstacle. Well, my goal of becoming a veterinarian was not casually set. And it was not going to be freely abandoned at first obstacle. It wasn't going to be freely abandoned at any obstacle. Well, I eventually made it to college in the United States. And it turns out that graduating from college in the United States was going to be way more difficult than I ever anticipated. The reality was that I was always hungry. I was always short of money. And even though I was starting to pick up the language, those technical textbooks in English were killing me. But I found out one thing, and it's that passion can be creative. So what I learned is that the only way I was going to understand those textbooks was if I translated them and transcribed them. It took ages. And it was mentally and physically demanding. But it didn't feel like work because it was taking me towards where I really wanted to go. I mean, it is true that you have to give up to go up, right? But if you're upgraded from economy to first class, did you sacrifice your economy seat? It can look like a loss until you can make that shift in perception. And you know that it's taking you where you really want. And this is when I started discovering what I call the law of passion, which is a very important law of success, which says that nothing is too much trouble if you have enough passion. Now, when I coach in this law of passion, I talk about three things. One, what do you want? How much do you want it? What are you willing to give up in order to have it? Right? What do you want? How much do you want it? What are you willing to give up in order to have it? If the passion is strong, the answer to these questions comes so quickly, and everything's going to be fine. I know that. Now, if the passion is weak, they struggle with these questions. And I know that they struggle accomplishing their dreams. Well, to continue my story, I eventually graduated from college in the United States and got a job in the United States, making more money than I ever imagined. And I came here to Ocala, Florida, and I started working. My brother moved with me to the United States, and we started working. I have accomplished my dream. My life was a success. I have made it. And for a wonderful 89 days, that's exactly how I was. Then one time my brother got kicked by a horse. And went to the hospital, quickly admitted to the hospital. And the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. It wasn't until several days later that he kept getting worse and worse. And I never forget this moment where the doctor came to me in the elevator and said, "Hey, we know now that your brother has leukemia." I couldn't believe what he said. I couldn't believe how she just threw it out like that and then left it for me to tell my brother that he had cancer. The next 100 days were a nightmare. I spent endless time with my mother, sleeping in the hospital. I remember truly believing that my brother was going to die at the age of 22. I mean, we were invincible. We were inseparable. And this is when I realized that life is short. Life is fragile, and it's so important to actually take care of all the advantages that we have. Several weeks later, another doctor came in the hospital and said, "Hey, William qualified for an experimental study." And just like that, he got into this study, he got stem cell treatment, and our life pivoted again, and we were back on the saddle. And we started working again, came back, and started working on our dream. Now, Now the veterinary profession started to look a bit different after everything we have gone through. It's like if I took those rose tinted glasses and I could see things clear for the very first time. Now we had a lot of student debt. We had $300,000 in student debt, and I was making a very small salary at the moment. Well, what I thought it was big, but in reality, didn't make that much sense. Making $70,000, $300,000 on student debt, and things were getting worse. It was just not getting any better at all. So at that moment, my brother and I decided, hey, we're gonna start our own business. And in Ocala, there are more horses than people. So it would be easier to pay our debt, it would be easy to find a lot of work, and it would be just easy to be paid what we were really worth. So that's what we did. And let me tell you a little bit about why you did not come here to listen. You didn't come to listen to a bunch of business skills or business lecture skills, but this is where you could be going, and I want to drop a seed on you, because if you ever want to cross this bridge and you're not prepared as a veterinarian, you might struggle. You might struggle in your own country, you might struggle in the United States, because it's important to know that as a veterinarian, you're actually in the people business, you're in the service business too, you're in the smiling business, you're in the chasing back debt business, you're in the box up with me business. This is it. While you stay also in the family business, because the first temptation as a veterinarian is usually to sacrifice family. So I continue working as a veterinarian and at the same time as a business owner. And then I realized that running a veterinary practice is not the same thing as being a veterinarian. Then I was becoming a veterinarian, and I was starting to deal with payments, chasing clients, dealing with complaints, and at the same time trying to be a good veterinarian. Now, in addition to that, the management of my staff was driving me crazy. I mean, I was extremely overwhelmed with my only assistant, William, my marketing director, Alberto, my operations director, Alberto, my HR director, Alberto. The management of all these people was driving me crazy. This is when I realized that as a veterinarian and as a person, we all have two choices. Either we accept life as it is, or we accept the responsibility for changing it. And I was done accepting life at the way it was. I was ready to take responsibility for changing it. Mr. Jim Rohn says, don't wish life were easier. Wish you were better. And I love that, because I was done wishing life would be easier. I realized that no one was coming to save me. So life is like the bamboo Chinese tree, okay? This is like the bamboo fable. There is a network of roots when you plant it that develops over 5 years. Then this is an intricate and complex network that when well formed and it sprouts after 5 years, it shoots up 80 feet above the ground. Now, what if it took you 5 years to create the foundation that you need to actually develop and become the person of your dreams, the veterinarian of your dreams? This is what I'm going to introduce you to, what John Maxwell calls the law of process. Because he says that success does not happen in a day. It happens day by day. For example, an oak doesn't become an oak tree just because they have the passion to become an oak tree. It has to develop and go through the process, develop the knowledge and experience to then flourish and become a super oak tree. So this is when eventually we got to where I am right now. This is my family. This is William and my other son, Michael, and we have our a family business in the veterinary industry. This is William now, cancer-free, and this is Sophia, his daughter, and his son, Sebastian. We have this practice in Ocala, Florida, which is a state-of-the-art rehabilitation and surgical center, where now we are reaching our vision and our mission to help horses. We do this by having state-of-the-art equipment. We have underwater treadmill, we have swimming pool, we have saltwater spa, we have podiatry, we have surgery. And we work every day after we develop a fantastic business. So what I do right now is I'm working on helping others, because we never finish giving back. We never finish giving something back. So my goal is to help veterinarians all over the world to accomplish their personal, professional, and financial goals. Why do I do this? I help people in situations like you, people who want to come in the United States. Let me share 2 examples with you. Dr. Guillermo was a veterinarian in Colombia, and he wanted to come to the United States. He came with us, very hard work ethic individual. He worked so hard every day of his life, worked so hard, followed all the process to become a veterinarian in the United States, and eventually got approved to come here as an intern. Then eventually he started working with us as a veterinarian, and then eventually he continued his career, got an internship, a surgical internship, and become a board certified surgeon in the United States. Let me tell you about Dr. Lichua. Dr. Lichua came to the United States late in his 40s. He came from Venezuela. He spoke no English. And later on, he came and he became a horse trainer. He was a horse walker. He was a assistant trainer. He came through all the gamma of veterinary, equine veterinary area. But it wasn't until the 50s that he actually decided to go for the license and take the test. And he passed it. It wasn't easy. He had to learn English. He had to find jobs not related to the veterinary profession. In addition to that, he had to find jobs not related to being a veterinarian to be able to sustain his family and pay for his life. But guess what? Now he's one of my right hands here in our practice at Epic, and he works with me every day. So, how to become a veterinarian in the United States? Another reason that I talk about this is because the opportunities are huge. They are so big, and there's no other country that I know in the world where you can come and actually succeed and accomplish your personal, professional, and financial goals. Did you know that there is a lack of veterinarians in the United States? There is a lack of equine veterinarians in the States because very few people want to be equine veterinarians in the United States. There are multiple reasons for that. They blame it in the high student debt, which, as I told you, is over $300,000, right? There is a stigma about the lifestyle of the equine veterinarian, because historically the equine veterinarian works very hard. But you know why we do that? Because we have passion. We have a lot of passion. And historically, the veterinarian sacrifices family and self so that they can live his passion. But one of the things that we have helped other veterinarians is how you don't have to do that. Yes, we understand there's passion and we work hard. We work 6 days a week, sometimes 7, because we have so much passion for it. However, we also work as a team and collaborate so we can have a family life, and we don't have to sacrifice family, and we don't have to sacrifice self, and we don't have to sacrifice our spiritual life as well. So who does this apply? Any veterinarian who graduated from a non-AVMA accredited school. If you're a graduate student of any of these veterinarians and they are in the AVMA ECFVG directory, this applies to you as well. Any student of a non-AVMA accredited school who wants a job in the veterinary industry in the United States should also be listening to this talk. We have had many students who have done our program and have become successful. And we have students who have stayed in the United States, like Guillermo and Dr. Cardona. And we have other veterinarians that have gone back to their countries, like Argentina, Colombia, Brazil, Egypt, and other areas in the Middle East as well. So what are the steps that you need? What steps do you need in order to become certified in the United States? Most importantly, what are the skills and competencies that you will need to acquire in order to work in the industry in the United States? I'm going to give you the step one, which you might or might not know this, but this is the very first step. There's an online application and the price might change year after year. It's about $1,400, $1,400. Then once you submit that application, you get a confirmation page, and you're usually going to get it 7 days later. You're going to submit 2 photographs of passport size, and then you're going to submit a proof of graduation from the AVMA ECFEG school. And your proof of graduation is going to be on the original language, and also you're going to send a certified translation. Very important. The certified translation needs to be approved, okay? Then the next step, what I call step number 2, you have to have proof of the TOEFL or the IELTS. These are the English tests that you have to pass. And you need these minimum requirements. If you don't hit these minimum requirements, you will not be considered to continue forward. For example, you're going to need 25 in listening, 22 in writing, 22 in speaking, and 23 in reading for the TOEFL. Or if you take the IELTS, the IELTS, you're going to need 6.5 in listening, 6.0 in writing, 7.0 in speaking, and you have no minimum in reading. Now, there's also an interesting concept that if you completed secondary school in the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, or Canada, with the exception of Quebec, you do not have to take those. You can proceed to the next step in the certification exam. Now, all this is actually published on the website. You can find this stuff on the website. Now, step 3 is that you need the basic clinical science knowledge. This is a written exam that you have to take, right? Like I was telling you before, why the United States? Why working here? Did you know that as a veterinarian in the United States, you could actually make a real good financial living? I'm talking about average salaries here in the United States continue increasing. We're talking about minimum 70, 80, $100,000, $125,000. And if you have no student debt, think about the changes that could do for your personal life as well. Professionally, there's a very high level of medicine that gets to practice here. And that's one of the reasons that they actually do this test, right? Because they want to make sure that they conserve the high quality of the veterinary practice. Then the step 2 is the clinical assessment test. This is a test that very few people pass the first time. I don't know if you have heard of it, but it's called the ECFVG practical test, and it's a multiple day test. Usually it's in Las Vegas. This test costs about $6,000 to register for it, or more, depending on what's the new price in the year. And here is the final step for you to qualify to have an American certification test. Now, there's a secret I want you to know that I didn't know when I moved to the United States. And it took me 18 years to develop the connections and the techniques that I want to show you and pass to you in only month, okay? Only month, because we actually have a system to help you out with this test, of course. So I know, stay with me. I know we have been talking about a lot, but now I'm going to tell you how are you going to pass this test? What is the best way to pass the test? Let's review step by step. 1, we have the TOEFL, which you can take it anytime. By the way, did you know that if you fail the TOEFL, like many of us have, you can just take it again and you can keep taking it. That's not a problem at all. But you cannot move forward until you pass that TOEFL test. Then you have the ECFEG. Then you have the ECFEG theory anytime after TOEFL, right? Then you have the NAVLE, which is the American certification test that you have to take. Then you have the practical test that I was telling you. And then there's something that many people forget, which is the working visa requirements, which a lot of veterinarians actually need to think about that because they don't have a working visa in the United States. And it's extremely important to have a working visa. You could have a citizen visa, you could have a resident visa, you could have a tourist visa, you could have a working visa, you could have no visa. Of course, the most difficult part is the no visa, right? But now we know a lot of veterinarians that have a tourist visa, which you can come and you can use to take some of the tests. And I have a secret for you. If you pass this test, I have never seen one veterinarian that passes the test that doesn't get approved for a working visa, because there's such a need of veterinarians in the United States that I don't want to say it's guaranteed, because nothing is guaranteed in this life, right? But it's almost guaranteed. It is. I have never seen someone not given a working visa who passes this test. So if you think about it, the upside of actually getting the test and becoming certified is quite drastic, right? And how do you get prepared for the test? The first thing that I recommend you is to work on the TOEFL. Take the TOEFL first and see where you are at. Because I know, I guarantee, almost guarantee, right, that after you pass the TOEFL test, it takes you 2 years when you come to us. It takes you 2 years to actually become a certified minimum, right? Minimum of 2 years. And we'll get to this later, but I have seen many people that give up on the TOEFL because they don't pass it the first time or the first 2 times or the 3 times, and then they never get the opportunity to accomplish their professional goals. Then you have the practical test. How to study for the practical? Well, I'm gonna tell you, because that's when we come in, when we help you with the skills that you need to do the practical, because they want you to practice the way it is practiced in the United States, right? So, and the ECFEG and NAVLE, that's very easy to get prepared. You get there are online reviews, like one of them is called the SUCU review, one of them is called the Vet Prep, Must Be's review. There are many of those reviews. In the practical examination, which is the hardest, you're gonna have equine medicine, you're gonna have small animal medicine, small animal surgery, anesthesia, food animal medicine, you're going to have necropsy, and you're going to have radiography as well. And you have to pass them all. And this is why less than 50% of the applicants actually pass the test right away. Less than 50%. Now, the good news is that if you don't pass any of these, you can come back and retake them. And you don't have to retake the whole thing. You retake only the ones that you did not pass. Well, how can I help you with this? I already told you that it would take you 2 years minimum to get this after the TOEFL. I have seen people doing it for 12 years and giving up. What problems are you going to face? This is what you should be asking yourself. What are the problems that you're going to face? You're going to feel lonely. You're going to start working on things that are not important. You're going to need a place to practice. You're going to need a place to practice equine. You're going to need a place to practice small animal medicine, small animal surgery, anesthesia. And you're going to also need a coach. Because there's no one sport in the world where there's not a coach. Right? You can learn how to play piano on your own. You can learn how to play guitar. But it's much easier with a coach. Right? You can learn how to play basketball. But you're probably never going to make it to the big leagues if you don't have a coach, right? So that's why we provide small animal surgery, small animal medicine training for you, because we have a small animal practice as well. other than the equine practice. It's called Camp Animal Hospital. We provide mentorship in the small animal world, where you are going to learn how to do the procedures the American way. So you have a higher chance of passing the American test. All right. Now, just to finish up, I want to touch base on something that no one teaches you, and then I'm going to open it for questions, okay? And this is the mindset, because it is so important to not just have the clinical skills, but also the mindset, because as you heard in my story, coming to the United States, being away from your family, being away from your land, changing languages, all that is going to take a toll. It's definitely going to take a toll. You gotta be strong, you gotta be resilient, and also you have to believe that you can do it. You have to believe in yourself. And in order to do that, you got to be around people that believe in themselves, but most importantly, you have to be around people that believe in you, that can help you, that know you can do it, that have helped others do it in the future, right? Because you have to be around the experience. You have to be around like-minded people. So these are the 5 C's I wish I knew, and other vets wish they knew when they made the switch to come to the United States. Coaching, community, connections, contracts, and company. Let me break this out for you. I already talked about coaching, the importance of having a coach, having someone to make you accountable, to push you. All right. A community is much better when we do things together, because doing things by themselves is very, very difficult sometimes. Now, how about the connections? Where are you going to find internship? We know we have connections, and we know lots of people where we can refer you and help you out get internships. And how about employment? Even better, because now once you pass the test, then you need to go and find employees. Where is going to be the best employment? Where are you going to be better situated? Wouldn't you want to have someone that has a relationship already? Wouldn't you want someone who knows what kind of practice you do, what kind of person you are, someone that is in the same community, right? So we will help you with that as well. And have a company, right? You actually can be part of a company, which is the cool thing. We're not just offering a one-time thing. What we offer to our friends, our employees, and our family is the whole lifestyle, the whole professional career. So I want to leave you with this, because it's important that you realize that you have the right and the power to accomplish your dreams. You have the right and the power to live the life that you want to do. You have the right and the power to become the best professional you can. You have the right and the power, and it's right now, because there's no better opportunity to become a veterinarian in the United States as of now. So for that reason, I have put up a quick summary, because one of the most common questions is, okay, how do I do this? What do I need to do? So I want to show you what do we offer, okay? We offer ECFEG skills and competencies to become an equine veterinarian in the United States, and also a small animal veterinarian as well, okay? We offer coaching to pass the United States Veterinarian, which is about, we do it on a weekly basis. We offer guidance through the whole application and scheduling process for the exam, so that you can come to the United States and achieve your personal, professional, and financial goals. And we help you with the outline of the certification program, so it's easier for you to do. This is usually a $2,470 per month value, but today I'm actually making an offer to you for $247 a month, all right, for 1 year. This might take you 1 year, might take you 2 years, but this is the offer that we have today. And if you commit to a 2-year commitment, it's actually $3,499 in one payment. And this will give you access to us once a week, and all that coaching that we were talking about. Then the practice, the opportunity to come with us and learn the clinical skills that you need to learn. Now, because it's June, a June bonus. June is my birthday, so I have a June bonus. I'm gonna give you a one-on-one. If you sign up today, I'm gonna give you a one-on-one coaching session, okay, which is $1,000 value. And I'm gonna also, if you're an equine veterinarian, I'm gonna give you a lecture checklist that you become a master at reading radiographs and you never miss a problem. And I'm also going to give you a tutorial on an anatomical dissection tutorial with a question and answer section, okay? I'm also going to throw that for you in a bonus. Now, I'm going to wrap it up because our time's coming up and I want to make sure I leave it for questions. And also you can WhatsApp me and I'll answer questions if I left any unanswered questions. And I want to let you know that this offer, we're going to make it good for 24 hours, okay, in case you want to take advantage of the opportunity, all right? And I'm going to leave here the QR code just in case. All right, I'm going to leave here the QR code just in case. Now, I'm going to open up for questions. So I feel free to type them up in the chat. And I can see here in the chat that people were not muted. I apologize for that. I hope that got better during the presentation. Okay, so the first question is, for how long does the contracts are made for employment? Good question. The contracts are made usually either it's a 2-year or a 2-year contract. For some specialty veterinarians, there could be up to 5-year contracts, but I seldom see that. Most of the time it's a 1 to 2 year contract, okay? Study material for the NAVLI. The NAVLI, when I did the following 3 study material for the NAVLI. I did the Mosby, I did Zuku, and I did Vet Prep. I'm gonna type them here for you, okay? And I did those 3. Those were the best for me. The next question is, I have a question. Does your clinic offer internship? Oh, sorry, I typed that to Giovanna rather than the whole group. I'm gonna type it again. The next question is, does your clinic offer internship for foreign graduates? Yes, absolutely. Our clinic offers internship for foreign graduates. Of course, the priority is given to the ones that go through the Rullan University program, which is the skill improvement courses that I'm offering to you right now. Those are always they get priority. Most of the time we have between 2 and 3 interns throughout the year in our clinics working towards getting the skills necessary in order to pass the test and become certified in the United States. So the answer is, do you offer internships? Yes, we do. The QR code is not working. I am deeply apologize for that. I am going to type over here the web page. I just type it. It's www.rullanuniversity.com. And of course, get in the WhatsApp group. I have assistants monitoring the WhatsApp group. If there's anything that didn't work, Lucas will be helping you out, okay? The next question, how much an equine veterinarian make in the United States? Well, very good question. That is my favorite question to answer. If you have the American license, so Sangha, if you have the American license in the United States, you could start somewhere between 70,000 of a job, right? If you're gonna do an internship might be between 30 and 50,000. Then the next year you can go between 50 and 70,000, and then the year after that you can go between 80 and 120,000, and then after that usually go into 100,000 or more per year. So that's a great question, and a lot depends on your clinical skills. So the better your clinical skills are, the better are your salaries. But it's usually pretty rewarding, especially if you're willing to put effort and commitment in your professional life, and provide really good services. Now, there are multiple areas of equine veterinarian, right? So I'm going to tell you right away which one are the best if you're looking into getting into this. Right now, at this moment, and this might change, right? The best is sports medicine. It's not surgery. A lot of people think that the best is surgery, but it is not. The best economically rewarding one is sports medicine, and it's not internal medicine either. So sports medicine are probably going to be the highest paid, and then it starts going down after that, okay? But remember what I talked about to you in our lecture. You have to do what's your passion. You cannot focus just on where's the most money. Now, if you are an equine vet and you have a lot of passion, and you come to our program, you become certified in the United States, you come talk to me, I will make sure that you actually get a pretty sweet deal. All right. All right, next question. What's my opinion about equine imaging diagnostics, and what is the best course institute to have in the United States? Talking to you from Utah. Well, equine imaging diagnostics, that is a very that's a very big field, right? So if you want to become a board certified radiologist, you do a radiology residency. Now, if you're looking for clinical skills, I'm going to type for you over here because I want you to look into this. If you're looking for clinical imaging, by clinical I mean relevant, where you're a veterinarian, you do your own imaging, I highly recommend you become an ICELP certified. And this was founded, one of the founders was Dr. Jean-Marie Denois from France, and is by far one of the best, okay? One of the best to be clinically competent and imaging competent in equine. Of course, we can continue this conversation later, because once you do the ICELP, or even before, we offer even more advanced courses at Rullan University. We offer very closed wet labs, where are for only the super advanced veterinarians, where we only allow 5 to 6 veterinarians, and we do horse dissections, we do ultrasound, we correlate the dissection with the ultrasound and the clinical cases, and we get you to be on the top for sure. Next question. What is the best way to contact you for more specific information? The best way to contact us is through Rullan University, and also WhatsApp. The WhatsApp on the group is monitored by Lucas, so I highly recommend doing that, getting the WhatsApp with Lucas. Of course, you can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram. I have all the social medias. I am a fourth-year veterinary student. How can I start prepping for the NAVLE? Fourth-year vet students are my favorite, because you can start prepping for the NAVLE with Zuku, Vet Prep, the Mosby's review. There's many. Between those three, there's just absolutely no way. Very difficult to fail. Now, I want to give you a hint. You're a fourth-year vet student and you're preparing for this test. My hint for you is something that I did. Is I study, but didn't I just study, okay? Didn't I just read and read and read? I define my words. Define every word I didn't understand. I had to make sure that I had a good conceptual understanding of the material. For example, if you start reading and you go blank, you don't just start reading in the back. There's a word that you didn't understand. There's a problem in that page that you don't grasp. And this is where having a coach helps you out, right? Because it can help you out. What is the concept that you don't understand? Because if you don't understand something that you read, You're going to read it again and you might not understand it. There's something going on. So I highly recommend understanding every word. And when you're studying for this test and you're looking at those questions and you're looking at the answers, I want you to also study every answer and think about why is that answer false? What is the truth? Where is the truth on this answer? And that helped me a lot. I made every answer in the test, in the practical test right. And I confirm it with the references, and that's how I didn't have any problem. Does contracts guarantee for U.S. visa? They're saying, does contracts guarantee for U.S. visa? What are the pros and cons of equine sector in comparison with small animal sector? Well, if you have a United States veterinary certification by the ECFEG, I have never seen a person with that certification that did not get a visa. Does that make sense? I'm not going to guarantee you that it does, but I have never seen one that gets denied. Everybody that I know gets approved. What are the cons and pros of the small animal? These are the pros and cons. If you are passionate about horses, you should do horses. If you are passionate about small animal, you should do small animal. If you are passionate about both, then you can probably find a place that you can do both and have the best. Have the best of both. But the pros and cons are, it's all about the lifestyle that you want to live. Because if you want to have a lifestyle of traveling, and if you want to go visit the world, teach in many other countries, and follow your patients to other countries, then the only way to do that is in equine, right? But now if you want to have a lifestyle that's a little bit more sedentary, stay in one place, stay in a building, don't travel, don't go to farms, then it's small animal. But I have a hard time advising one versus the other because it's about where your passion is, which one you really want to do. Next question by Abderramni. After succeeding the first exam VCS, what the job offers can we get? I hear that we can work under supervision of a vet. If you have a working visa, yes, you can work under the supervision of a vet most of the time as an intern. So as long as you can find the working visa. The VCSE, if you have, it just doesn't always get you a working visa, right? But once you pass the ECFEG, that's the easiest way to get a working visa. But we have had students here as interns that have not passed the full exam yet, and they can work as interns, they can work as assistants, as veterinary assistant, veterinary technicians, and there's a lot that they can do. Of course, you're not going to get the payment as if you had a license. You're going to get less, right? Rightfully so. Once you get the license, then you get paid as a doctor in the United States. Alvaro, you're very welcome. Thank you. Khalid, you're very welcome. Does the center offer courses in equine neuroscience and horse care? Does the center offer courses in equine neuroscience? I'm assuming you mean our center in equine neuroscience. We offer a lot of courses in horse care, yes. Specific neuroscience, we offer the very basic neuroscience, basically what you need to do in order to become a lameness veterinarian and a diagnostician. Now, we do not offer an internal medicine residency. That would be something that you would if you want to go to neuroscience and you want to do an internal medicine residency, you will have to go after us. You come and work with us, you do an internship with us, then you apply for an internal medicine specialist. It's a residency, which is going to be somewhere else, all the universities, for example, that you might want to go. Are there any opportunities for equine residency in our hospital? In our hospital right now, we offer internships, general practice internship. We offer sports medicine internships and specialized sports medicine and imaging fellowship. The internship goes between 6 months and 1 year. And the fellowship is a 2-year, all right? And in order for most students that come here and do the internship have already gone through the Rullan University program. Next question. Do internship under you, we need to clear the NAVLE. To do an internship under me, no, you don't need to clear the NAVLE, however, you need to clear the TOEFL. So to come to us and do an internship or a fellowship with us, you have to have the TOEFL qualifications or the IELTS, one of the two. Next one. I'm a doctoral student in internal equine medicine and I need to develop my skills and knowledge. I want to have an internship in your university. How can you apply? If to apply, I'm going to put it here in the room. It's going to be www.rullanuniversity.com. rullanuniversity.com. And by the way, these, I hope this was recorded. So if the recording works, you're gonna get a recording of this whole webinar, okay? So you can review it, all right? The next one, give me some lectures on equine lameness problem. This is a great question because if you go to Rullan University, we tackle lameness a lot. And one of the advantages of Rullan University is that we meet every week and we have lectures every week with me or another instructor. And you're gonna get coaching and you can bring your own cases, your own imaging, and you get coaching on new cases and new imaging. Very important. That's where you get the most value of joining the program. The next question is about, could you explain me very clear, please? Could you please make clear, what about the opportunities in public health and epidemiology? Ooh, there's a lot of opportunities in public health and epidemiology. If you pass the test, if you pass the American test, public health and epidemiology are huge in the United States. Huge, absolutely huge. You can Google public health jobs in the United States and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Another question, is Guide to Equine Clinics by Pasquini a good reference to follow? Yeah, you can follow Pasquini, absolutely, yes. Treatment for laminitis in your practice. The laminitis deal is this is one of the questions that I answer in a private chat, because answering questions about laminitis, it can take us a whole day. So I highly recommend coming to our mastermind, and we're going to talk about laminitis extensively because we treat it every day. So please do. Oh, thank you. If you can mute yourself, we only have a couple more minutes left. So if you can mute yourself so everybody else can listen to the questions and listen to the answers, I appreciate it. Please, please, please. I'm sorry to be such a pest about it. I just want everybody to be able to hear the answers. Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. I apologize deeply. All right, if there's any answer that any question that I did not answer. If there's any question that I did not answer, you can put it in the chat right now. Other than that, I'm going to start to saying my goodbyes because I really appreciate it. This was really good times. I highly appreciate it. Oh, okay, here's one question. In which field you'll get a good opportunity to do the VIRMP? What field you get a good opportunity? To be honest, right now, the United States is looking for anything. Anything that has to do with large animal and equine. Anything that has to do with large animal and equine. Public health, no, I do not. What about Erasmus placement? I'm sorry, I do not know what Erasmus is. I apologize. Next question. What is the range of pay in public health? I do not know that question because I do not work a lot in that field. We need to full AVMA certificate. We need full AVMA certificate for work visa or NAVLE. No, you don't need the full certificate for the work visa in the United States. However, if you have it, you're gonna get it way faster. Does that make sense? Let me tell you again. if you have the veterinary license, if you pass the ECFG test, your certificate, your working certificate is going to come way faster. Yeah, the internship residency matching. Yeah, that's what I did. I did the veterinary internship residency matching. That's why I was telling you. If you are into large animal or equine, it's going to be relatively easy. And now if you don't get that, you will need to continue working on developing your skills so that you actually get the one that you want. Does that make sense? The more skills you have, the easier it's going to be to get your internship or residency. What kind of jobs we do? What kind of job we get if we do masters? To be honest, there's no difference. It depends what the master, whatever master you do. If you have a master in radiology or imaging or sports medicine, then you're gonna get a job that is related to that. But there's not a whole lot of difference. What makes a difference is the skills that you show. The good thing with the masters, since you mentioned the masters, if you did your veterinary training and you have a master's and or a PhD, that will also help you to get a visa. That will be more advantageous for you, okay? A lot more advantageous for you, because the state will see it as you have more training. Next one. I've already done 3 internships in the equine till now, but my diploma not approved in the United States. What do you think will be the best step? So if you've done 3 internships, what you need to do, if you've done 3 internships, what you need to do is to pass the American certification test. That will be the next. All right, that will be next. Sounds like we have a guy here talking a lot. I apologize deeply. All right, guys. Well, I think it's been 5 minutes after 1 o'clock. I apologize that some people were talking too much on the chat and interrupting. I'm so sorry. If there's anything, here, I learned how to mute them all. I'm so sorry, I apologize. Hopefully you can you go ahead and get the recording again, okay? And if I didn't answer any questions, if I didn't answer any of your questions, please come back to us via the WhatsApp and I'll be glad to answer. Thank you very much. I'm humbled you guys were here. Thank you very much. When the recording is ready, I will send that presentation to you in the WhatsApp, okay? Thank you guys. Have a fantastic day.